All right, Metaphysics Rantcast with Metaphysician 7. The first little section of this rant is going to be concerning a little info sheet infographic. It's not much of an infographic, but it's a fact sheet about fentanyl. And this was produced and distributed by Ottawa Public Health. I guess this is one of their initiatives in the midst of the national, provincial, and citywide opioid fentanyl crisis / emergency. So I've been reading this. I figured I'd narrate it just for the sake of the rantcast. I've been narrating a variety. Actually, let me backtrack. I specifically went to the local community health center just to see what kind of little info sheets that there were, specific, like things like this. There wasn't much. There was a lot, but not a whole lot specific to what I'm. One of the directions I'm trying to go with this rantcast. A bunch of stuff that didn't really concern my needs. Anyway, fentanyl facts. So there's one. To drug addictions, one. I also found something else, which I'll also read after this, but for the sake of the quote-unquote conversation, the one-way conversation, what else was here? Oh yeah, I've been narrating parts of the John Howard Society. Surprise, surprise. They have an initiative entitled Time for Change. We're going to get into the details of Time for Change shortly. But first, we're going to start off with fentanyl facts. So, Ottawa Public Health. Fentanyl facts. Are you or someone you know at risk for opioid overdose? Learn more. What is fentanyl? Fentanyl is an opioid that is much more toxic than other opioids, such as heroin, morphine, methadone, or codeine. This makes the risk of accidental overdose with fentanyl much higher. Illicit fentanyl. Illicit or quote-unquote bootleg fentanyl is being made illegally and sold on the street. It's being cut into other drugs like heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, and also in counterfeit pills that are made to look like other prescription pills, like quote-unquote Oxycontin or quote-unquote Percocet. There's no easy way to know if fentanyl is in your drugs. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it. When you're getting drugs from anywhere other than from a pharmacy or medical professional, like from a friend, ordering online, or a dealer, there's no way to be sure exactly what's in them or how toxic they may be. Any drug can be cut with fentanyl. Even a very small amounts can cause an overdose. Prevent overdose. If you are going to use, here's some ways to use more safely. Avoid using alone. Avoid using more than one drug at a time or using drugs with alcohol. Start with smaller amounts or quote-unquote testers. Carry naloxone. Signs of overdose. Slow or no breathing. Lips or fingers turn blue. Person won't wake up or is not responding. Gurgling and choking sounds. Pinpoint, which is tiny pupils. Respond. What to do in case of an overdose? 1. Call 911. 2. Give a dose of naloxone. 3. No change. Start chest compressions or CPR. 4. In 3 to 5 minutes, give next dose of naloxone. 5. No change. Continue chest compressions or CPR until help arrives. So what is naloxone? Naloxone is a medication that temporarily reverses an opioid overdose. Naloxone only lasts for about 30 to 60 minutes, but a lot of drugs last longer. This means the overdose symptoms can come back. Naloxone can save a life while you are waiting for the ambulance to arrive. Take-home naloxone kits are available for free. See resources below. They reference here Clarence Street. Clarence is in the market. I believe it's in the market. Anyway, resources. For more info and tips, hit up www.stopoverdoseottawa.ca, www.stopoverdoseottawa.ca, and visit the site office at 179 Clarence Street, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., or call the site van 7 days a week from 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. at 613-232-3232. That number again is 613-232-3232. Call the drug or alcohol helpline to find out what pharmacies near you have take-home naloxone kits. The number is 1-800-565-8603, 1-800-565-8603. So there you have it. Fentanyl facts. And I'm sure many of you have been seeing these documentaries, whether it's Vice or whether it's various YouTube documentaries or whether it's short pieces on whatever news channel, and you know we're in the middle of an opioid crisis. So again, if you were completely unaware for whatever reason, or you live in a bubble, there are some facts. Check out Auto Public Health, Google it, Wikipedia. There's all kinds of resources digitally. Now, next we have, so like I said, I was reading John Howard Society. Because I've been posting things on IG today about, addictions and recovery and so on, I'm getting hit up a lot by those kinds of IG accounts. Let me see here. Yeah, so Time for Change. This is a program that the John Howard Society of Ottawa has going on. Now, even though I was reading this site, I didn't see this posted on there. I've actually since found it, but I saw this. This was like a flyer that was posted up in the health center, and then I went on to John Howard Ottawa site, and I eventually found the PDF. So I'm going to read it. Time for change. The time is now. The choice is yours. What is Time for Change, or T4C? T4C is an initiative dedicated to male and female young adults, and their families who are impacted by gang involvement. T4C understands the events and factors that bring individuals into gangs and keep them involved in a gang-related lifestyle. T4C provides gender-responsive supports and services because these events and factors may be different from males and females. What do we offer? Utilizing an intensive casework model, T4C provides support and services based on the needs of each individual and their family. So, services and support. They have education and training, employment, safety and stability, housing, counseling and health services, family reunification, community engagement, mentorship. And who are we? So there's a few organizations involved, but the two main ones are John Howard Society, obviously, and they focus on prevention and intervention, youth and adult residential programs, housing support, services in courts and detention, community reintegration, education attainment, pre-employment training, employment services. Next, you got OCISO, Ottawa Community Immigrant Services Organization. Settlement and integration, multicultural counseling, multicultural liaison officer program, language instruction for newcomers. Now that I think about it, they actually got a language instruction for newcomers. I think that's what they call LINK. They have that down at where they're actually doing the advanced voting in Ottawa South, which means nothing to the people listening who aren't from Ottawa. But this is at Bank and Walkley. So this is like fades. So this is like so there's the Valley Village Plaza, and then there's a next plaza beside the Valley Village, and there's like that office building. Up in there, they have this language instruction. But I think this main office here, surprisingly, is actually near the Somerset West Community Health Center, which is down in Eccles. Anyway, they also offer community economic development, career mentorship, multicultural inmate liaison program, and YOCISO, immigrant youth program. Sorry if what I do here is kind of like alienating the international listeners. Again, you can vaguely connect this to your own experience wherever you are. I mean, a program, whether or not you live here, you know what I'm talking about. Fentanyl is a problem, and there is a need for services specific to youth, to help deter them or steer them away from gangs. And this is maybe this can bring up a conversation about, like, we have the funding for these programs here in Canada versus the US, or maybe I'm just generalizing here, but we don't have the vast social problems in a certain way that the US has. This is why we have all of these programs, and some of them are undercover, right? Like, undercover meaning they're not as known. You know what I mean? Like, I stumbled across this flyer. I'm not in a gang and I'm not youth, sure, but this time for change thing, I stumbled across this. Meanwhile, even though the overall trend of violent crime is coming down, we get these shootings fairly often, clearly tied to gangs. So there's clearly something that needs to be some kind of preventative measure, not like a after the fact thing, but a preventative measure. Here, John Howard Society of Ottawa, Crime Prevention Ottawa, City of Ottawa, and then OCISO. Here we go. How do I make a referral? Please contact the T4C project lead for more info on referral and intake processes. 613-789-7418. 613-789-7418. Have I been linking all this stuff in my... I'm gonna go back and link the resources in the episodes, because I feel like I did for some, and then other ones I forgot. Anyway, thanks for listening to this section of the Rantscast, where we're talking about little social programs and things going on in the city that can help people. StopOverdoseOttawa.ca. In fact, let's go on there right now. So we're jumping back in time, and jumping back in time of 7 minutes maybe. Stop Overdose. Here we go. StopOverdoseOttawa.ca. Anything can be cut with fentanyl or carfentanil. Okay. So there's naloxone, party safe, secure your meds, local resources, drug use and overdose statistics. Oh boy, there's a lot of info here. Go to ottawapublichealth.ca and check out some of these. Check out Stop Overdose Ottawa. But I was trying to find the actual site. Here we go. No, that's not it. Stop Overdose Ottawa.ca. Now, is it just going to relink to the... Yeah, okay, so it just relinks to Ottawa Public Health. So StopOverdoseOttawa.ca relinks to Ottawa Public Health, where you'll find all of the various resources. Here's Party Safe. Heading out to party. Whether it is your first or 100th time using party drugs or drinking, these are 9 things you should know so you and your friends have a good time. Drugs and alcohol overdoses are preventable. The most effective way to avoid an overdose is to not use illegal substances. Of course. How to know how to ID an OD. Irregular breathing, bluish lips, small pupils, confusion, cold, clammy skin, vomiting, seizing. So they got videos here on YouTube too. Don't use alone. Stay with friends. Tell them what you are taking. Try finding a friend that'll be sober to look after you. Go slow is number 3. There isn't a good way to test out your batch at home. Anything can be cut with fentanyl, so use a small dose at a time and pace yourself. 4, don't mix. Leave the mixing to the DJ. More than one drug, including... Wow, they're throwing puns into the list. Anyway, leave the mixing to the DJ. More than one drug, including alcohol, in your system can really screw you up. Carry naloxone. It's free and can save a life. Get your free naloxone kit and learn how to use it from your local pharmacy. Don't be afraid to call 911. Emergency workers are there to save lives, not to judge. You can't be charged for simple possession of illegal drugs or for pre-trial release, probation officers, conditional sentencing, or parole violations related to simple possession when calling for help in an overdose. This exemption applies to you or anyone you're calling 911 for. It's interesting to know. Party with it. I'm sure people, yeah. Okay, for anybody who's, out there living that life, pay attention to number 6. Don't be afraid to call 911. Why? You're probably thinking, well, I ain't trying to get bagged. But guess what? Emergency work, I'm saying this slowly. Emergency workers are there to save lives, not to judge. You, the user, can't be charged for simple possession of illegal drugs or for pre-trial release, probation orders, conditional sentencing, or parole violations related to simple possession when calling for help in an overdose. This exemption applies to you, the user, or anyone you're calling 911 for. So you, the user of the drug ionis, won't get bagged, cuffed by the Jakes in an overdose scenario. All right, now, 7, party with consent. Asking for or refusing sex or drugs shouldn't be awkward. 8, drink water. Taking drugs or drinking alcohol can keep you pretty dry. Drink lots of water before and during the party. Keep an eye on your drinks because people can be snakes. I like how they're throwing in comedy in here. Plan for a ride home. Don't feel bad if you have more questions. We thought you might. So here here are some more questions that we hear a lot. Let's see. Here once again, they're reiterating this calling 911. Can I be charged if I call 911? The Good Samaritan Overdose Act exempts anyone who calls for emergency help from police charges or simple possession of illegal drugs, as well as pre-trial release, probation orders, conditional sentencing, or parole violations related to simple possession. I want to have sex, chemsex, P&P, while on drugs. What do I need to know? Consensual sex while on drugs can enhance feelings of pleasure, friendship, and intimacy. The same 9 pointers above apply, but when you sober up, you may feel periods of regret and realize the risks that were taken. We offer free non-judgmental care and support to everybody's sexual health screening. Okay. When you are ready, come visit us. Let's click the visit us link. Sexual health clinics and services. Find condoms, healthy relationships. Sexual health is defined as a state of physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being in relation to sexuality. In partnership with people and communities, Ottawa Public Health works to ensure equitable access to contraception, sexual health and harm reduction services, information, and resources. Sexual health requires a positive and respectful approach to sexuality and sexual relationships, as well as the possibility of having pleasurable and safe sexual experiences, free of coercion, discrimination, and violence. Our mission is to provide culturally competent and safe sexual health and harm reduction services to youth. The following pages provide info and an overview of sexual health services in Ottawa. Youth and young adults across Ottawa can access sexual health services at our main clinic at 179 Clarence Street, or at one of our 8 sexual health youth drop-in clinics. If you got questions or concerns, we're here to help. Ottawa Public Health staff have prepared the site with you in mind. All right, so I didn't realize how long this was going to go. Now we're almost at the end of the episode, so let's kind of go through and see what else we got here. Can I OD on alcohol? Yes. ODing on alcohol is a medical emergency. Call 911. Back to stopoverdoseottawa.ca. Let's see. Secure your meds. Okay, we're not going to read that particular page. Naloxone. It's a medication that can temporarily reverse effects of an opioid overdose. Let's see. How does it work? In an opioid overdose, a person's breathing slows down or stops. Naloxone blocks the effects of opioids on the brain. It temporarily reverses these effects on a person's breathing. Given naloxone can prevent death or brain damage from lack of oxygen. It'll only work on opioid-related overdoses. Naloxone facts. There's a video produced by University of Waterloo. Check it out. How long does it take to work? Starts working in 1 to 5 minutes. Repeated doses may be needed if the person is still showing signs of overdose. The effects of naloxone only last for 30 to 60 minutes. How does it work? Did I already read that? Yeah, I did. Take-home naloxone kits. So the site office, yeah, I've read that. All right, so basically that covers the Stop Overdose Ottawa site. Again, check it out. I mean, I highly advise you check it out. It's free resources. And if maybe you engage in and deal with people who indulge in drug yonis, maybe you want to get one of those naloxone kits, for yourself. This would have been good to know for me for maybe 2.5 to 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. You know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't always in Ottawa, but at the same time, it's like this is public health we're talking about here, and you can prevent. It only takes the one specific instance of an overdose, and it's game over. And then everybody's wondering, what could have been done. Meanwhile, the resources are here. There's some parallels to the, crisis prevention to prevent suicide. Like if you just got to make the one call that prevents someone from carrying through with what they're going to carry through with. So, again, that's my little sort of PSA announcement of sorts here on the Rantscast. Not to be too downerish, but I mean, as I've already said this several times in the past few episodes, there's going to be elements of the social services info highlights, highlighting social services in the city. I've already talked about this, so expect some of this coming over the next several weeks or months or forever, depending on how long this Rantcast goes for. Peace.